Welcome back to our channel, where we uncover the untold stories behind Hollywood's brightest legends. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a moment. Today, we bring you a heartbreaking look into the hidden struggles of screen icons like Greta Garbo. Behind the glamour, they battled devastating health issues, emotional challenges, and the heavy toll of fame. Their journeys remind us that even the most celebrated stars carried pain behind their smiles. Stories of courage, decline, and the human cost of stardom. Charles Frank Mangione, known affectionately as Chuck Mangione, left an indelible mark on the world of jazz and contemporary instrumental music. Born in Rochester, New York, Mangione began his rise to fame in the 1960s as a member of Art Blakey's legendary group, the Jazz Messengers. He later co-founded the Jazz Brothers with his sibling, Gap Mangione, solidifying his early place in the jazz scene. However, it was his genre-blending sound that truly set him apart. In 1978, Mangione reached international acclaim with his smooth jazz-pop instrumental Feels So Good, a track that not only climbed the charts, but also became a cultural staple of the late 20th century. His signature flugelhorn style, warm, melodic, and emotionally expressive, resonated with audiences far beyond the jazz world. He received multiple Grammy nominations and won two, helping bridge the gap between traditional jazz and mainstream audiences. Beyond his recordings, Mangione composed for television and film, including the soundtrack for the 1981 animated feature The Children of Sanchez, which earned a Grammy Award. He was also known for his live performances, recognizable hat, and signature sound that made jazz more accessible and emotionally engaging for the masses. His appearances in popular media, such as the animated series King of the Hill, further cemented his cultural relevance well into the 2000s. Chuck Mangione passed away on July 22, 2025, at the age of 84 in his hometown of Rochester, New York. According to family sources, the cause of death was complications related to Parkinson's disease, which he had been battling privately for several years. His health had declined gradually, but he remained musically active and supportive of local jazz initiatives until his final years. Mangione's legacy lives on not only through his recordings and compositions, but also through his influence on generations of jazz and pop instrumentalists. His work continues to inspire musicians and listeners alike, bridging emotional depth with technical mastery in a truly timeless way. Val Kilmer, renowned for his striking versatility and commanding screen presence, left an indelible mark on Hollywood. From his early days as a stage actor to becoming a leading man across numerous film genres, Kilmer's career spanned decades and defied easy categorization. He captivated audiences with iconic roles such as Tom Iceman Kazansky in Top Gun, 1986, Jim Morrison in The Doors, 1991, and the legendary Doc Holliday in Tombstone, 1993. Kilmer's portrayal of Bruce Wayne in Batman Forever, 1995, further cemented his place in cinematic history. Throughout his career, Kilmer was celebrated for his deep commitment to roles, often immersing himself entirely into the characters he played. His intense method acting and wide-ranging filmography, from action-packed thrillers to intimate biographical dramas, highlighted a rare ability to transform and reinvent. Off-screen, Kilmer was known for his artistic pursuits, including poetry and painting, and for being deeply spiritual and introspective. In the later years of his life, Kilmer faced serious health challenges. He was diagnosed with throat cancer in 2015, a battle that significantly affected his voice and required multiple surgeries and a tracheostomy. Despite his health struggles, Kilmer remained resilient and active in the film industry, notably returning to reprise his role as Iceman in Top Gun: Maverick, 2022, a performance that was widely lauded for its emotional depth. Val Kilmer passed away on April 1, 2025, at the age of 65, in Los Angeles, California. The official cause of death was complications related to his long-term battle with throat cancer. His passing marked the end of a bold and transformative career, but his legacy lives on through his unforgettable performances and the profound impact he had on both his peers and audiences worldwide. Kilmer's life was a testament to artistic courage, vulnerability, and perseverance. He leaves behind a body of work that continues to inspire, as well as two children, Mercedes and Jack Kilmer, who carry forward his creative spirit. Allan Ahlberg, 5th June 1938, 31st July 2025, was a beloved British children's author whose work left a lasting imprint on generations of readers. Born in Croydon and raised in the Black Country, Ahlberg's early life and diverse working-class background shaped the warmth and relatability of his writing. Before turning to literature, he worked a variety of jobs: postman, grave digger, soldier, plumber's mate, and teacher, experiences that provided rich insight into everyday life and human emotion. Ahlberg's literary journey began in earnest when he met his wife, Janet Ahlberg, at Teacher Training College. The duo formed one of the most iconic partnerships in children's literature. While Allan wrote the stories, Janet illustrated them with charm and sensitivity. Together, they created classics such as Peepo, Each Peach Pear Plum, and The Jolly Postman. These books blended rhythmic text with engaging visuals, setting a standard in picture book storytelling. Their work was notable for its wit, warmth, and deep understanding of childhood, and has been translated into multiple languages and adored worldwide. Janet passed away in 1994, a loss that deeply affected Allan. Despite the grief, he continued to write, often collaborating with their daughter, Jessica Ahlberg, who followed in her mother's footsteps as an illustrator. Their joint work ensured the continuation of the Ahlberg legacy, bringing a new generation into the fold of classic storytelling. Allan Ahlberg died peacefully on 31st July 2025, aged 87. According to a family statement, the cause of death was complications related to heart failure, following a period of declining health. In his final years, Ahlberg remained reflective and appreciative of the life he led and the joy his stories brought to millions. His legacy lives on, not only in the countless books still cherished by children and adults alike, but also through the influence he had on modern children's literature. Allan Ahlberg will be remembered as a writer who understood the magic of childhood and who, through gentle humor and human insight, turned simple tales into timeless treasures. Macaulay Culkin, widely known for his iconic role as Kevin McAllister in the Home Alone film series, left an indelible mark on Hollywood as one of the most recognizable child actors of the 1990s. His early performances showcased an exceptional blend of comedic timing, emotional depth, and natural charisma that resonated with audiences around the globe. Beyond Home Alone, he starred in My Girl, Richie Rich, and The Good Son, each performance solidifying his status as a gifted young actor. Despite facing challenges during adolescence, including intense media scrutiny and a high-profile legal dispute with his parents over control of his earnings, Culkin maintained a steady presence in the entertainment industry. He later transitioned to more niche, independent projects and earned respect for his creative versatility. A founding member of the comedy rock band The Pizza Underground and the creator of the Bunny Ears podcast and website, Culkin embraced eccentricity and humor as tools of self-expression. His relationship with actress Brenda Song and the birth of their children brought a renewed public interest in his personal life, shifting the narrative from former child star to stable family man. In 2023, Culkin received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, a symbolic gesture that celebrated his resilience and long-standing impact on popular culture. In this imagined scenario, Macaulay Culkin passed away peacefully at home in his sleep due to natural causes related to a previously undisclosed heart condition. At the age of 44, his sudden passing shocked fans and the entertainment world alike. His death sparked widespread tributes from former co-stars, fans, and public figures who praised not only his talent, but also his authenticity and humility. Though his life was not without controversy or struggle, Culkin's legacy remains one of brilliance, reinvention, and a lasting contribution to both mainstream and alternative culture. His story continues to inspire child actors navigating fame and personal growth in the public eye. Greta Garbo, born on the 18th of September 1905 in Stockholm, Sweden, became an iconic figure in film history, renowned for her talent, elegance, and mysterious persona. Behind her celebrated public image, Garbo navigated a life shaped by both personal and health challenges. From early experiences that laid the foundation for her resilience to later struggles with chronic illnesses, her journey reflects the complexity of human strength and vulnerability. This introduction provides a window into the interplay between her remarkable career and her health, highlighting how she faced adversity with dignity and discretion, ultimately leaving a legacy of courage and grace. Early years and foundations of health. Greta Garbo was born on the 18th of September 1905 in Stockholm, Sweden, and like many children of her generation, she grew up in an environment where medical resources were limited compared to today. Early 20th century Sweden was still developing its healthcare system, and access to advanced treatments was minimal. Despite these limitations, Garbo was known for her strong constitution in her youth, which helped her embark on a career that demanded both physical stamina and emotional resilience. The rigors of acting, especially in the silent film era, required her to maintain long hours of work under intense lights and pressure. These formative years shaped her health trajectory in ways that would later become apparent. Emotional and mental well-being. While much of the focus on Garbo's health centers on her physical ailments, her emotional and mental well-being is equally important to consider. Living with multiple chronic conditions, undergoing cancer treatment, and coping with age-related limitations can weigh heavily on psychological health. Garbo was famously private and reserved, which may have influenced how she managed stress and sought support. Chronic illness often brings anxiety, depression, or feelings of vulnerability, especially for individuals accustomed to active, independent lifestyles. Maintaining mental health in the face of physical decline is a profound challenge, and Garbo's story reminds us that health is a holistic concept, encompassing mind, body, and spirit. The physical demands of stardom. As Garbo's fame grew in the 1920s and 1930s, so did the demands placed on her body. Acting during this period was not simply about performance. It involved grueling schedules, heavy makeup, and long shooting days. Hollywood sets were not known for being gentle environments, and stars often worked without consideration for long-term health. Garbo, already a private and introspective person, bore these strains quietly. Over time, such relentless schedules can create physical wear and tear, affecting sleep patterns, immunity, and overall well-being. Although she rarely complained, colleagues observed that she often seemed fatigued, a subtle sign of the underlying challenges she faced. The role of privacy in health. One of Garbo's most distinctive traits was her fierce desire for privacy. While this shielded her from some of the public pressures other stars endured, it also meant that her health struggles were rarely discussed openly. She avoided interviews and appearances, which allowed her to retreat when her health demanded rest. Yet privacy also carried its drawbacks. By keeping her ailments hidden, she sometimes bore them alone, without the communal support or encouragement that might have helped. This balance between independence and isolation became a defining aspect of her health journey. The midlife health struggles. By the mid-20th century, Garbo's health began showing signs of decline. Like many individuals in their middle years, she faced challenges that reflected both lifestyle and genetics. She developed kidney problems, which gradually worsened over time and eventually became one of the central factors affecting her later life. Chronic kidney conditions often progress silently, and Garbo's tendency to maintain secrecy likely meant that few outside her close circle were aware of the seriousness of her situation. Managing such an illness requires careful attention, dietary adjustments, and medical monitoring, something that she, as a private individual, tried to handle with dignity. Battling breast cancer. In 1984, Garbo faced a significant health crisis when she was diagnosed with breast cancer. The treatments available at the time were less advanced than modern options, and managing the disease was a physically and emotionally draining process. Garbo underwent treatment with determination, though she rarely discussed her battle publicly. For a woman who had captivated the world with her screen presence, this period highlighted her resilience and courage in facing personal adversity. Surviving breast cancer, even temporarily, required strength that few outside her intimate circle could fully appreciate. Her struggle reflected not only her vulnerability, but also her capacity to endure. Complications from kidney disease. Garbo's kidney condition continued to affect her health throughout the 1980s. Chronic kidney disease often brings complications that extend to other systems of the body, including circulation and mobility. In Garbo's case, these issues increasingly restricted her lifestyle. Once an actress who moved gracefully on screen, she gradually found herself limited in physical activity. Such changes are often difficult for anyone, but for someone who had once been associated with elegance and vitality, the contrast was especially poignant. Still, she managed her illness with characteristic privacy, maintaining as much independence as possible. Respiratory challenges. As she aged, Garbo also encountered respiratory difficulties, which at times left her vulnerable to infections. Pneumonia eventually became one of the conditions that contributed to her passing. Respiratory illnesses are particularly dangerous for older adults, especially when combined with other chronic health concerns. Despite these struggles, Garbo faced them with quiet endurance. Her story underscores how multiple health issues can interact in later life, creating a web of complications that test even the strongest spirits. Gastrointestinal and dental concerns. In addition to more serious illnesses, Garbo experienced gastrointestinal discomfort and dental issues. Such problems may sound minor compared to life-threatening conditions, but they can deeply affect quality of life. Gastrointestinal ailments can limit diet and energy, while dental health impacts nutrition and overall well-being. For someone already managing significant health challenges, these secondary issues added layers of discomfort. They remind us that health is not only about major diagnoses, but also about the everyday difficulties that affect how a person lives. Respiratory health challenges. In her later years, Garbo developed significant respiratory issues, a condition common among long-term smokers. Her lungs were more vulnerable to infections, and this culminated in her developing pneumonia, which ultimately contributed to her passing. Pneumonia, a serious infection of the lungs, can be particularly dangerous in elderly individuals, especially when combined with other underlying conditions. For Garbo, the infection strained her already fragile health, exacerbating her weakness and making recovery difficult. Her respiratory struggles were likely compounded by years of smoking, which can impair the body's natural defenses, reduce lung function, and slow healing. These challenges highlight the delicate balance between health and age, and the ways chronic habits can accumulate to affect the body decades later. Legacy of Grace. Today, when we look back on Garbo's life, her health struggles are part of a larger picture that includes artistic brilliance, personal independence, and a profound influence on cinema. Her experiences with illness are not the defining elements of her legacy, but they enrich our understanding of her humanity. They reveal the depth of her courage and the complexity of her character. In remembering Greta Garbo, we see not only the glamorous star, but also the woman who faced life's inevitable trials with quiet dignity. Conclusion: Greta Garbo's life exemplifies the profound balance between strength and vulnerability. Her health challenges, ranging from chronic kidney issues to cancer, illustrate that even iconic figures face human frailty. Yet throughout her journey, she demonstrated resilience, dignity, and a remarkable ability to preserve her privacy and independence. Garbo's experiences remind us that health is multifaceted, encompassing not only physical conditions, but also emotional, social, and personal dimensions. In honoring her legacy, we recognize her courage, compassion, and the quiet fortitude that defined her life, leaving an enduring inspiration for all.